Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're embarking on a journey that honestly challenges the very foundation of how we perceive our existence. We're looking at a truly transformative piece of work by Mauricio E. M. Suarez. He's this brilliant metaphysical architect who's inviting us to literally step outside the boundaries of our everyday perception. So, get ready, because we're about to enter a cinematic, mysterious, and just profoundly empowering exploration of intentional consciousness. Now, I want to ask you something directly, and I really want you to think about this. Who are we, really? And are you ready to reclaim your reality? Science paints this really compelling picture of us as just a complex dance of chemicals and electrical impulses. But if you're watching this, you probably sense that picture is kind of incomplete, right? We're way more than just organic machines. We're beings capable of feeling, connecting, and wrestling with these deep existential questions. Consider this explainer your official invitation into the awakening arc. But to understand where we're going, we first have to understand where we currently are. The author introduces us to the concept of the Matrix. Now, hold on, discard the Hollywood idea of some sci-fi prison. In this context, the Matrix refers to the quiet, subtle, interlocking patterns that shape our perception of reality. It's the inherited beliefs, the cultural scripts, the rigid institutions, and those unexamined assumptions that dictate our everyday lives, often completely without our conscious consent. Basically, it's the architecture of our default settings. Okay, let's dive into this contrast, because it is absolutely foundational to ECOM's work. On one side, we have the Matrix. It's rigid, it's automatic, and it's built on inherited frameworks that constantly tell us who we are and what is actually possible. But on the exact opposite side, we have the Nexus. The Nexus is a crossroads of infinite possibilities. It is where intentional consciousness thrives, and where the threads of countless realities intertwine. It represents this fluid, incredibly empowering freedom, a place where you respond intentionally rather than just reacting automatically. EOM offers us this incredible glimpse into the cosmic mind and what he calls the quantum tapestry. He hypothesizes that we aren't just flesh and bone. Instead, we are energy packets just absolutely bursting with enormous potential. This energy is woven into the very fabric of reality itself, entangled across the electromagnetic field, and it extends into quantum dimensions that are way beyond our current understanding of space and time. It's like a giant, multidimensional puzzle. And that brings us to a massively important concept in EOM's work, quantum consciousness, or as he uniquely coins it, QuantSciousness. This is defined as the absolute highest form of indestructible interdimensional energy. What this reveals is mind-blowing. The universe isn't just cold, dead matter. It is conscious. And because of the observer effect, all energy actually reacts to us. Our awareness literally shapes the surrounding reality. How wild is that? So the crucial takeaway here is that we are absolutely not passive observers in this universe. Let's break down the mechanics of manifestation exactly as they're outlined in the book. Step 1, you have to recognize that energy is conscious. Step 2, observe and set clear, deliberate intentions. And step 3, watch as you alter the fabric of reality itself. We become active co-creators of our destiny. Literally every thought you think and every choice you make ripples through this cosmic fabric, creating totally new possibilities. All right, let's move to the next concept and see how this builds into an even more mind-bending frontier: navigating parallel universes. EM's work heavily explores the theory of the multiverse. That's the idea that there are possibly an infinite number of universes coexisting right alongside our own. Suddenly, those everyday choices we make, they don't just shape one singular timeline, they interact with entire alternate realities. The profound implication of this idea is just staggering. To quote the text, each decision represents a fork in the road that opens up an infinite number of possibilities. Think about that. The road not taken isn't just a hypothetical regret or some daydream you have on your commute. According to this quantum framework, it exists as a tangible reality unfolding somewhere else. And get this, we can actually learn and gain wisdom from our alternate selves who are navigating those other paths. And right here is where the narrative takes on this tremendous sense of mystical urgency. EOM discovers a hidden roadmap. It's a trail of flares, a literal call to action. He steps forward into the Nexus, aligning his coordinates. And as he follows this hidden trail, the text says, "And the multiverse trembled." It's an absolutely epic journey across realities, stepping up to answer this higher call to awaken consciousness. Along this journey, we are introduced to the Starseeds, which is a crucial concept for anyone seeking metaphysical wisdom. So what are they? They're ancient intelligences, born-aware beings who actually incarnate with their memory completely intact. They didn't pass through that usual veil of forgetting we all experience. They arrived already remembering. Their whole role is to act as a catalyst for humanity's awakening, standing firmly against what the book calls the overlords of deception, who basically just thrive on our fear and ignorance. What makes these beings so vital are their highly unique characteristics. First, they have early awareness. We're talking about speaking of past lives or obscure historical events from a very young age. Second, advanced abilities, things like heightened intuition, telepathy, or even precognitive dreams. And third, deep empathy and sensitivity, which gives them a profound understanding of human nature. They bring this incredible inherent power to guide humanity directly toward its true potential. Illuminating the path forward. The mission of these starseeds and the doppelgangers actually converges right in the Nexus. By sharing their collective wisdom, their quantum knowledge, and their incredibly deep empathy, they're working together to spark a massive global shift in consciousness. And that brings us to the triumphant climax of the doppelgangers' battle for the multiverse against the forces of darkness. Here's the quote: "The future is in our hands. Let us embrace it with open hearts and minds and create a world that is filled with love and light." They fight, but not with weapons. They are armed with the raw power of love, compassion, and unity. It is an incredibly inspiring call to action for every single one of us as co-creators of our reality. So you might be wondering, how do you actually engage with this profound material? Well, enter the Sanctuary Edition. This isn't just another standard printing of a text. It is literally an empowering doorway designed specifically to help you escape that matrix of default settings. This specific edition unifies the language, strengthens the narrative flow, and acts as your own personal portal to reclaiming your reality. You see, this edition was prepared specifically to bring clarity, coherence, and structural integrity to the author's constantly evolving body of work. It's a beautifully refined tool. It's designed to support both brand new readers and returning ones in engaging with intentional consciousness in a highly structured, deliberate way. Basically, it's built to meet you exactly where you are on your spiritual journey. And I absolutely love this point the author makes, speaking directly to your boundless potential. He says, "The awakening continues, not in these words, but in you." The purpose of this book isn't just to convince you of some new doctrine. It's to awaken a recognition deep, deep inside you. Reading this is really just the catalyst. It's the spark. The actual transformation, that happens entirely within your own intentional consciousness. So if you are at all ready to explore consciousness, manifestation, and your own infinite possibilities, you absolutely need to pick this up. It's called The Great Awakening to Intentional Consciousness by Mauricio Suarez. It is a brand new, absolute must-read, and it's available right now on Amazon KDP. Go grab your copy, step into the Sanctuary Edition, and start mapping your own coordinates in the Nexus. I want to leave you with one final, lingering thought straight from the text. And somewhere, across a timeline not yet reached, have you already begun to remember? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep questioning everything, keep exploring those infinite possibilities, and I'll see you next time.